Welcome back, everybody, to the Meeple Marathon. Today we're going to be taking a look at Tiny Epic Pirates. This is the newest Tiny Epic game to be released by Gamelin Games. This kickstarted last year. This is obviously a pirate-themed game where you're essentially kind of, sailing around this makeshift board, and it's a little bit of a sandbox game. You get to do a lot of things, which eventually your end game objective is to collect gold, enough gold to then bury in a treasure chest. Once you bury 3 treasure chests, then you win the game. So we're going to be taking a look at the base game here, along with the Curse of Amdiak? I used to say Amdiak, but that doesn't look like what it is. Anyways, this is the expansion that came out as an add-on for the Kickstarter as well. So let's start with the main game here. So if we flip it over, we can see that essentially standard to Tiny Epic games, they use cards to create a larger world. And so you're going to be creating this kind of ocean setting, which is going to be randomized every time. And then they've got these ship minis, which is unique to a Tiny Epic game. They've always had meeples, but this is the first time I think that they actually are having plastic miniatures in their game. They just finished actually Tiny Epic Dungeons last night, I believe, and that one's going to have full-fledged miniatures, so it's going to be interesting to see how these fit in the box here. But like I said, this is going to be a typical standard Tiny Epic game with pirate theme. So let's take a look at what's inside. As always, we need to check out the inside of the box because it is a Tiny Epic game, and as always, they don't disappoint. Alright, so we have our instruction manual, 20 pages. This looks pretty standard for a Tiny Epic instruction manual. So we've got a list of components, setup, and this takes us all the way to page 6. So gameplay overview, then a whole page of on your turn, and then we start getting into more details. So really the meat of the game consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we're still going. So there's a lot here. Alright, so here's the end of the game. We're at 16. That was about 11 pages worth. And then obviously there is solo play, which has become pretty standard in Tiny Epic games. So there's the rule book. Decent amount of text there for such a small game, but we'll see. Okay. Now we have lots of tokens, lots of meeples and resources. Here are the miniatures. What has always been nice about Tiny Epic games is, I guess, so that they can fit it into the box, they don't give you sheets that you have to punch out. Everything comes pre-punched. We've got a set of crew cards here, captain cards. We've got a set of what looks to be really nice dice. I know that they did have additional dice on the campaign where you could get like the skull dice, but I actually liked the look of these better. So it's got this pearlized black pearl dice with the gold pips. These are nice. I like these. They're a little small, but not bad. Alright, now we have some ship miniatures which need to be assembled. At first glance, these look cheap, but they feel pretty solid. Obviously, we'll take a look at these here closer in a second. But there's your bag of ship miniatures. A bag of really tiny coins. Let's take a look at these. These essentially help you track your gold, but they're just a tracker at that point. So you're not going to be picking these up and playing with them, but you will be moving them around on your mat. So it's kind of nice that they're heavier weight. They won't get bumped around as easily. So one for each player to track your gold. There's a nice bag here. I believe those little resource cubes go into these and you draw them out one at a time. Decently screen printed. And then we've got a whole bunch of large size cards. So what should we take a look at first? Let's take a look at some of these. Actually, you know what? Let's take a look at these cards so that everything makes better sense when we look at it. Okay, so I believe this is our market card. Yep. And so this is going to be giving you information on your merchant vessels, which are here and here. Those are kind of like dummy vessels, which are just going to be sailing across the sea in no particular order, which you can attack, plunder, things like that. It's also going to be setting the trade rate for various goods, which will rotate throughout the game. So certain things might be worth more when you stop at port, so depending on what you're carrying in your vessel. I'm not quite sure what's going on over here, but that's essentially the market board. Then this appears to be a whole big bunch of ocean cards. So, there's various information on these that I don't know what all this iconography means. Obviously, that's a storm, which I know if you travel through a storm, you get jostled. I believe there are areas, and I think this, I'm not sure. I know that there are areas where you can park your pirate ship. Everything's got a storm. Park your pirate ship and hide from the Navy. So far we're seeing a lot of storms. There's some calmer waters. So again, the iconography in the specific corners means something. I believe the skulls means something. Yeah, so like here's one of those locations. I'm pretty sure you can like pretend to park your boat in that area. Here's another one. And you're in like a hideout. There's another one. Okay. There's the fourth one. So everybody can be hiding. Okay, so that's a basic look at the ocean cards. I'm not sure if there's more than you need per game or whether you're going to be dealing out each one every game and just creating a different board. All right, then we have some boards for some player boards. So what's really cool about this game is that you have this action wheel here, which is very reminiscent of a ship's wheel. And you're going to be taking these tokens here, placing them out, I believe randomly. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but so say you are black, you might place your tokens out something like this. And so this is going to give you your various, well, that's not a black one. I don't know where the fourth one is. There we go. So this is going to give you your various actions, and you'll be moving your captain around the wheel here. And I believe you have to spend meeples to skip spaces. So you could just keep doing each action one in a row. When you make it around the cross line here, things reset. But that's essentially how the action selection works in this game. You continue to move around this circle, and how far you can move around the circle is dependent on like your meeples and what shape they're in. What's interesting is their choice of colors. I know they are trying to go for piratey themed colors here, but this is 2 different colors. And I know that you guys viewing this on video cannot even tell the color difference as well as I can, but these are very close. This is black and this is essentially like a dark brown. I really don't know why they didn't pick different color choices that stood out more. They don't need to be bright pink and neon green, but or there's here. Let's take a look at all of the various color choices here. just on the back sides. So that's it. That's their color palette they chose for this game. Very interesting. Okay, so you've got a whole bunch of these search tokens as well that have various things on the side, and that's it. That's pretty much everything that was in this bag here. It's just a whole bunch of the wheel tiles and search tokens. So let's pull these off to the side. And over here, this is where you're going to track your gold. I believe once you get to a certain amount, maybe it's 13, you can then bury it in a treasure somewhere, and once you've buried your third treasure, then you win. You also can increase your legend throughout the game, become more of a dread pirate versus a sea dog, and you start gaining better actions. You can move your ship farther. You roll 3 dice instead of 2 in combat. I'm not sure what this symbol means, but this is like gaining a 4th meeple worker here, things like that. And as always, usually on the other side are the various AI cards. And so each one of these, though, is different. So you can see there's a Captain Jack, Annabelle, a Blackbeard, and a Madame Drake. And there's Greedy, Fearless, Notorious, and Vengeful. So each one of these actually, you can see the difference in just like the dice pips. Each one of these plays differently. And so like these, the actions that it's going to take around the board here are very different. I'm sure they have these ranked in some sort of order as to which is more difficult than the next, but essentially with 4 here and 4 here, I know that's more than 16 different options, but I'm not a math major, so but that is really nice for us solo players. So let's take a look at what else is in all these bags here. Lots of little bags. So we have a whole bunch of resource tokens. These things are supposed to represent like coffee, wheat, stone, tea, things that you would find in the Caribbean. And then there's also these little miniature cannons, meeples, which are fun. Then we have 2 sets of meeples here. You've got little, I guess, pirate meeples, and then you have a larger captain meeple for each person. And so here you have black, blue, yellow, and red. Those are supposed to be the colors, but remember, here's red, here's blue, here's black, and here's yellow. So stark difference in the meeples. The meeples are a much better color choice there. And then we have your legend tracker here and your tokens that you can put out once you have buried treasure. So one for each of these, and you can see that these skull and crossbones are 2-sided. Flipping them over to the bloodied side does mean something, but I'm not quite sure what that is. So there's all of that. Let's now take a look at these. So, like I said, just looking at them they're hardier than they look. I'll give them that. I'm a little wary of like this little guy right here. The railings are a little spongy up here, but the bottom is solid. So let's see what it's like to fit some sails on them here. These I'm very wary of. Okay, so could be kind of a pain to have to build these every time, but I would not want to put these back in the box, especially as tight as everything usually fits in a tiny epic game. I probably put these on backwards, but okay, so it went in there okay. It wasn't the worst thing in the world. These they're not as worrisome as these. These feel like the little tips of the ships feel like they're going to break off. These though, oh, this one isn't as good. they have some flex to them, but these just seem like they are going to get broken very easily. Let's see how the little resource cubes fit in there and how easy it's going to be to get them out. So each of your pirate ships can hold 3. These little merchant ships will be carrying 1 around. That one obviously goes in pretty easily, but let's see. So with this stuff in the way, I think my flag's flying the wrong direction there unless I'm going backwards. Okay, so getting them in there wasn't too bad. Whoop, that one fell right out though. I definitely need to turn the flag the right way. That would be helpful. Right now the flag's flying that way and it gets right in the way. They stay in there. What's interesting is that the bottoms of these are kind of rough. I'm going to have to sand these down or I'm going to scratch up my cards. But how easy are they to get out? Again, my flag's in the way, so this one in the front, it's very easy. This one in the back, though, the railing is high enough to the point that you can't really grip it. This one's kind of hard to get out, actually, and that's what it took. So that's interesting. That one in the back is the most secure, but it's also the hardest to get out. I'm not super impressed with these little ship meeples or ship miniatures. Maybe once I kind of put everything where it's supposed to be, so maybe this must go on the front. Again, the flag's going the wrong direction, right? Because the pirates are on the front and the wind's blowing that way, but then the flag's going the wrong direction. Am I the only one that notices that? Noticed that? How did no one else figure that out? Or is this one supposed to be facing out like this? But again, that doesn't make any sense. We'll have to see. I didn't really see anything in the rule book about that, but I'm sure there will be some posting about this flag on top. Each one of the main ships has a flag like that. All right. Last but not least in the main box here, let's take a look at some of our cards. So you have your choice in, let's separate these out here. Lots of crew, yep. All right, so here is your choice of captains. These guys appear to be the same, but maybe not. 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, so these guys are essentially the same. It's just, do you want to be a girl, a boy, sing vain, typical pirate guy. So those are your 4 captains options. Let's look at some of the crew options that you can hire. Now, these guys have less stuff down below, and they all have different symbols that are highlighted here, and they have different dice pips up front. Quartermaster Quigley, Willow Watch, Ursula Bane, Liza Lucky. I wonder who had to come up, because Scott Alms had to come up with all of these names. You suppose he just sat around with a group of his friends and like, all right, give me all your best pirate names. Trina Trickshot, Sally Sherwright, Chopper Donovan, Jack Fuse Rogers. What's interesting is that I have not seen a Gamelin the pirate yet. Usually they throw the Gamelin Knight in somehow, but I didn't see him there. And then these are, I believe, the merchant vessels, which basically give you the power that they're fighting and what you're going to get in return. So there's some level 2s, and then they can increase to level 4s. That must mean something down there. Level 6s and level 8s. Alright, so that is everything that is in the base game. Now let's take a look at the kind of ghostly expansion here, Curses of Amdiak. Now what I do appreciate is that they made this box the same length and width as the base game boxes. Originally they were making it like half size, so it would have fit on your shelf funny. Because I don't think this is going to fit in. Yeah, they're going to make it like this big. Cut it off right here. Why would you do such a thing? Alright, so what's this one coming with? This one actually does have a punch board. It comes with a ghost ship, some tokens, cursed gold, additional solo mats, which is nice. New resource, curse gold. A few extra rules. This one looks much more manageable. And then a whole separate solo play section. So this one's only 12 pages. Much better. Ooh, I forgot to show you the inside of the box of this one. This one's cool too. This one actually would make a really nice dice tray because it's not so thick to reach down into. Alright, so here we have our ghost miniature. This one feels and looks exactly the same as the other ones, but I wonder if this one glows in the dark. I'm not going to try that on camera, but this one does have a cool little effect on the front here. This one just seems to be more detailed. At first I thought, oh, it's broken, but I think it's supposed to be broken on purpose because it's a ghost ship. So this one does feel the most solid of all of them, so that's interesting. Here is some cursed gold, which are actually translucent cubes. Here we've got the additional tokens. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I wonder whether this is going to fit in the main box or not. The mummies, one for each person. Here is some skeleton crew, and I believe a skeleton captain. Oh, a couple captains. Okay. So there's 4 new captains. Here is a ghost merchant vessel. And then here is all of the ghost crew. Ernie, Bonnie, they all just have normal names. Min, Boots, Bill and Bait. Oh, because it's spurred. Alright, then we've got, on the bottom here, we've got some tokens. So it's interesting that these weren't punched out, but there you have it. Those must mean something. And then, ooh, there actually is a seaboard tile, a couple of them. So this, you know, everything's got this purplish hue to it. I wonder if you have to play with these when you play with the ghostly expansion. And then the, yep, this looks like the solo board, so it looks exactly like the other side. What's this side? Oh, this is the second one. So there was 2 solo options, but one of them is the Ghost Pirate. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is everything from Tiny Epic Pirates, including the Curse of Amdiak. Again, I swore it was Curse of Amdiak. Anyways, keep an eye out for some gameplay videos of this in the very near future. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, including a playthrough of Tiny Epic Pirates Solo, please consider subscribing to the channel. Once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.